Talent Cup up next. Welcome back to the 2017 FIM CEV Repsol. It's round one here from Albacete. My name is Tom Brooks. Alongside me for this weekend, and indeed for this season, is Dakota Momola. We're live here in southern Spain. Lovely sunny conditions greeting the circuit for the final race of the afternoon. European Talent Cup Race 2. And after race 1, we should be everything but disappointed, or should we say, we should be very excited for it. That's probably a better way of putting it, isn't it?
More excited now that we know what the gig is, you know, and now after all these races, God, I don't think we're gonna have any breath left with all these battles, and especially in this class, it's great passing, and no, it's gonna be interesting to see the start of this race. The weather's good, and it seems to be warmer than the first race for them.
Yeah, it looks like it's nice weather conditions out there as well. The wind, it's still not too windy. It's died down a lot from what it was earlier on. It was very windy earlier today here in Albacete. And you can see just some preparations taking place as well. I wonder what the track temperature is. It'd be good to find that information out.
We'll soon know.
I'm sure we will. And be interested to know the different tyre choices that'll be competing on the European Talent Cup bike. So if you didn't manage to join us for race 1, let's just remind you a bit about the European Talent Cup. It is a brand new championship in 2017 on the support bill for the FIM CEV Repsol. And it derives from the Asian Talent Cup. The Asian Talent Cup, if you are a fan of that, then of course you'll pretty much know what the European Talent Cup is all about. However, if this is perhaps your first time watching motorcycle racing, well, first of all, welcome along. It's great to have you here. But the European Talent Cup basically is designed to nurture riders from the ages of 12 up until the ages of 17. Give them like a starting point, basically, because there's so many different places that perhaps don't support motorcycle racing as much as some other countries, and they find it really hard to get that avenue in. And that's what the European Talent Cup is all about, basically, is nurturing those riders, giving them an opportunity to ride a motorcycle, to get a bike at a cut price. Dorna sell the bikes at a very reasonable price for people to compete in and to compete with, and it's a really, really good start to compete on European championships, and especially in their later career, Dakota, it's going to help them massively because they'll have already had experience of those tracks.
No, definitely, it's a great championship to, like you said, to start. It's a great stepping stone for young kids that that have talent, and for sure, you know, it's probably cheap. You know, it's not as expensive as what it gets once you start getting higher classes. So, and it's a great way of people to see, and teams in that, to see fast, you know, coming rivals for the future. And like you said, 12 to 17-year-old, a lot of them I know are 12 to 13, 14, very, very young riders from all over the world. And yeah, I hope we can get another good race like we had in this morning.
Indeed, yeah, the 3.5-kilometer circuit here in Albacete. And here was the man who did very, very well in the opening race, Maikon Kawakami, the Brazilian rider with a Japanese name. It's always a bit confusing, that one. He started from pole position and ended up finishing on the podium as well. So that was a really good result for Maikon. There was some great racing that went on in that first race. We need to refresh ourselves, really. Hopefully we'll be able to find out a bit more about it, I'm sure. I think we will get some highlights in a few moments as well. Keep an eye out for this man as well, Joan Uvinha, the Spaniard, the number 23. He could prove to be very interesting in the race. He's been training in motocross and trials riding during the off-season as well. And just a bit of information for you on these European Talent Cup bikes. They are all exactly the same Honda NSF 250R machines, exactly the same motorcycles. And that's what makes it really exciting. That's what makes the racing so close in that sense as well,
exactly.
Isn't it?
It's all about the rider. And especially in this class, a lot about the weight. The weight's important, and slipstream.
Exactly. Andreas Perez there. Keep an eye out for him because he was quick but unlucky in that opening race after going down, of course. He ended up having a big crash in race 1. We'll talk you through that, of course, in just a few moments' time. So bikes being ready, preparations being made.
Gonzales.
There he is, Manuel Gonzales. Again, another stonking race it was for the number 18. He was battling right in and amongst the podium right until the very end, and ended up finishing on that rostrum as well for the first time in 2017. What will be interesting is if Perez is able to finish this time around as well, because he was looking very confident. But this man He was the victor of the race one in Denmark, from Denmark, I should say, rather. Simon Jespersen.
Great race he did in the first one.
That was very, very quick. And he just looked so calm and so confident, didn't he? Just nothing fazed him at all.
But another rider that was really fast was Perez. And unfortunately, he had that jump start and you know how to do that pit lane penalty. But hopefully he don't make any mistakes and he can run with him and try to win it.
Falconiero there lines up in 6th position on the grid. Of course, qualifying yesterday was wet, so these grid orders perhaps aren't as representative as you would imagine of the actual overall pace in the dry conditions here today. Of course, it is a bit of a difference in the pecking order, but that only makes the racing more exciting in the European Talent Cup, and it certainly means that we are looking forward to getting it underway. Alex Toledo, now keep an eye out for him. He was so quick in the opening race. I think if he qualified better, we could have seen him romp away out in front, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. And grid's always important and qualifying's always important for confidence and for those first opening laps to try to get a good start and try to get away with that front group, because it's really tough. If you lose a gap with the front group, it's really tough to gain that gap again. So.
And Miguel Pala, he was very unlucky in the opening race after suffering that ride-through penalty, of course, and really put him back. Mind you, he finished in 7th place, which is very impressive nonetheless.
No, I mean, like I said, he's fast. He's definitely a rider to look for winner, and he showed the lap times when he was out there riding by himself. So if he can get a good start here and go with the front guys and try to stay with Jesperson and them, I think he's going to be one to watch for that podium finish.
Indeed, we just saw a glimpse of Jamie Davis, one of the top Britons competing in the field, one of 3 Britons competing in the European Talent Cup this year, alongside Callum Blackwell and Jack Hart. There's Iker Garcia, the Spaniard for the Realia Avintia Academy rider. I will get it right one day, you know. It's taken all day.
Listen, it's the end of the day. We're tired, and we'll give it to you here, Tom. First race.
It's been a long weekend, hasn't it?
First weekend of the season, so.
Indeed, I'm still probably trying out from yesterday, to be honest with you. Such was the weather. Let's get the tyre allocation for that race and find out who's going to be lining up. And it is exactly the same as the first race, all on mediums.
And track temperature's 19, so it's basically hasn't really changed from this morning, 20 to 18 to 19 now. So everything should be the same.
Indeed, lining up in 11th place is Edouard Melgar. Keep an eye out for him. Meanwhile, final preparations are taking place. The alarm is sounded, and that does mean then that we've only got a few more minutes to go.
I think it's 3 or 5.
3 or 5 minutes to go before we get this race. 5 minutes to go before we get this race underway. Here's the Frenchman. I forget the pronunciation of this race, of this name rather, I should say. That's Aurel Noël Velake, I believe, something along the lines of that. He's a French rider. I'm terrible with my pronunciations, unfortunately.
We need to get Spanish right, and then the French pronunciation.
Really bodes well for a commentator not being able to pronounce things correctly. That's the one there.
Aurel.
There we go. Aurel.
You needed
I can't roll my R's. That's my problem, you see. Dear, oh dear. Everybody is very excited for this final race of the day, and I'm very interested to see how Kawakami gets on. Here's Francisco Gomez, the number 9. And Francisco, again, like many people, been training in pit bikes and motocross in the off-season, and has also raced in the RMFE Moto 3 Championship in 2016 as well, where I don't think he did too badly at all.
No, I didn't really follow that championship, but I know a lot of riders in this championship here in the CEV FIM. They've come from that championship, so definitely new upcoming fast riders on this side.
Stefano Clistin we just saw there, the Italian rider of Beretti. Now, interestingly, because normally we see people competing in the RMFE Moto 3 Championship or perhaps Moto Star in the UK, something like that, Stefano has actually come from the Aglia Road Racing Championship in Italy, which is
really
not a championship I'd actually personally heard of before we...
Which one?
The Alpe Road Racing Championship. I believe it's...
I raced in CIV, which is the Italian championship there, but I've never heard of that one.
No, different championship. I'd never heard of it either. But doing my research, I thought, oh, okay, there you go. So it's nice to see people, though, taking those different routes in.
Yeah, it's great to see that. And it's great to see people coming from all different types of areas. And that's when you see, where's this kid come from? He's got so much talent, and then you don't know these championships these kids come from. But like you said, this this class right here gives you the opportunity.
Here's the grid then. Kawakami, Uviña, Perez on the front row. Gonzales, Jesperson and Cañero on row 2. Then row 3 is Toledo, Para and Jamie Davis. Keep an eye out for him. That could be very interesting. Row 4, Iker Garcia, Eduard Melgar and Aurel Noel Velake. Row 5, Francisco Gomez, Stefano Cristin and Andres Vostatek. Row 6 is Jose Suarez, Alejandro Diez and Vincent Falcone. The French rider, of course, lining up at the back of the 6th row of the grid. And then further down the order towards the rear end, we see Matteo Gregorio, Colin Feldhuisen, Callum James Blackwell, Jack Hart, Victor Alonso, Samantha Johansson, the Swedish rider, and Kevin Almeida, who suffered a very nasty high side. It was actually a rear end loss, of course, in that opening race.
Yeah, it was really weird.
A really unusual crash for Kevin Almeida, so we'll hopefully see how well the Estonian will be able to get on for this season. He's competed in the Rebel Rookies Cup, actually, towards the end of 2016 as well. So he's certainly got some good talent there on the grid. There's some great talent on the grid for this season, and it'll be very interesting to see who will get the drag down towards the first corner here in Albacete. We're just moments away before the riders will get themselves on the formation lap for the final race of the day. Get in touch with us for the course of this afternoon. Please do. We're on Twitter as well, of course, at CEV Motorcycle. We'd love to hear from you, hear your thoughts on the racing that we've seen today, perhaps whether it was in Moto 3, Moto 2, or perhaps in the European Talent Cup. Let us know your thoughts ahead of this upcoming race. It is great to have your company wherever in the world you are listening or indeed watching from. So the personnel cleared from the grid, and then it's just man and machine.
100%. I can't wait for it to start.
Very, very exciting indeed. So last preparations taking place. And then we'll get these Honda NSF 250R machines underway for the formation lap. Clouding over slightly here in Albacete. The weather conditions looking pretty good though. As the formation lap gets underway, and we will finally get racing underway this afternoon in 2016. Simon Jesperson took the victory in the opening race of the season. Will he be able to repeat the same feat from the second row, the middle of the second row, from 5th position on the grid? That is going to be the interesting thing to find out. If Perez can stay on, of course, after crashing out in the opening race, will he be able to mount a challenge from the outside of the front row? Or will we see the likes of Miguel Parra, without that penalty, with a bit of luck this time, mounting a charge from the 3rd row of the grid?
Well, Jesperson right now is in a good position. He's got 25 points from the first race, so he already knows where he can be in this race. Same conditions, so he doesn't have so much pressure. He just needs to basically make it through the first few corners of the first lap, you know, get a good start, and then just settle for those 18 laps until the last few laps before the battle starts again.
Absolutely. So what goes through your mind when you're on a formation lap, by the way? I want to know this.
Tires. Tires. That's all you want. Tires and temperature is so important, especially the first lap, because in the first lap, you're trying to pass people, or you're trying to, you know, brake really deep to try to get as far ahead as you can, because it's so important the first few laps to try to get that, you know, that good start and try to go with the front group. So you try to get as much heat in them tires, and it's super important to get heat, and especially sometimes you get racetracks that there's a lot more rights than lefts, and it's so important to get that left hot, because you go into that first lap and it's right, and then you forget about that left, and that left side of the tire is cold, you lose the front. And you see that so many times happen, even in the World Championship. You know, professional riders, like in MotoGP, it's happened before. So that's what's the most important, and also to stay focused and calm for that start.
Yes, indeed. So the riders lining up on the grid for the final time today here in Albacete. There is your pole man, Maikon Kawakami. Keep an eye out for him. He's on the outside of the track in towards that first corner. Alongside him, Joan Uviña and Andreas Perez, Manuel Gonzales, Jesperson and Cañero. That is the front row of the grid. We wait then for 18 laps of the European Talent Cup here in Albacete. The green flag is waved at the back. We wait for the lights to come on here in Albacete. The European Talent Cup in 2017 is underway, and it's a great start from Uvinia. He gets a brilliant getaway, as does Perez, into the first start of the lap. Who's going to lead the way down towards the first corner? It's going to be very close. Here comes Gonzales up the inside, but it's going to be Perez that leads the way. Untitled Perez gets a brilliant start into the first corner to lead the way on the number 77, trying to make amends for race 1. A great getaway from him. Gonzales in second place. Uvinia is in third place. And where has Kawakami gone off the start of that grid? He's now in 4th position. So Kawakami on the PlayStation Leglee's bike into P4. That's a really big shame there for him, because he's going to have to try and make up that ground. Everybody making it very cleanly through on the opening few corners. That's the important thing in the European Talent Cup. But Perez leads the way. A great start from him. Gonzales in second place, then Uvinia is in third. He's trying to go quick early on. This is where he struggled last time out, and he's looking pretty good on that Honda machine already, trying to have a look up the inside of Gonzales there, Dakota.
Yeah, he knows he's got the pace, and he wants as bad as everyone else, you know, especially after the first race he's had. And, he has the pace. He knows he does, and he just has to, you know, not get too ahead of himself right away, because there's still 18 laps to go. So long race to go.
Indeed there is. So we come down the back straight. This is where we'll see the slipstreaming really taking effect on these smaller machines. Brilliant start from Uvinia. That's great for him. He started, of course, in second place, now down into third position, but he's really battling in amongst these point-paying positions. Gonzales had a little bit of a look up the inside of the leader, Andreas Perez, but no way through for him there. Where's Jefferson got off the start as well?
I'm trying to find him there.
Started in the middle of the second row, but not made the headway that he did last time out, that's for sure. Over the time line we go to complete the first lap out of 18. Now down to 17. Gonzales. Here comes Uvinia up the inside as we go into the first corner. Gonzales hits the front. Uvinia tries to take second, but around the outside, holding it, goes Andreas Perez. So that's brilliant riding from Perez. Gonzales gets into second, and Uvinia does get himself up into P3. So,
Jefferson's there. He's in 5th place. He's just behind this group, so he's not too far away, so he'll be fine.
Indeed. So Gonzales, the Spaniard, leads the way. It's a great race for the number 18, of course, competing with the Halcordia Racing team. Second place at the moment of Perez in the Realia Avintia Academy team.
Para is also there.
Indeed, yeah, Miguel Para. That's really exciting to see, because, of course, he made a really disastrous start. Well, a jump start, of course, in the last race, which really put him quite a bit further back down the field. Meanwhile, second place changes hands. Uvinia goes up the inside of Perez. So Perez now moves down into third place on the Realia Avintia Academy machine. Uvinia second. Really big wobble on the front there, wasn't that?
John, he broke a little deep in there. He's got a riding style like Marquez would putting his leg out, and, or all these riders. He's the only one, I think, that puts his leg out in this race.
Very deep on the brakes. So Miguel Para as well. Keep an eye out for him on the number 26. He's on the white machine, not quite in this shot, but just at the back of it. As here goes Uvinia up the inside. Will he make it stick? Yes, he does. Uvinia hits the front then. He leads the way. A brilliant start from him. Into second place then.
Watch the slipstream, how important. He'll just get past.
Indeed.
All that hard work for nothing.
Indeed. Kawakami in 4th place at the moment. Now trying to make that 3rd as he looks at the inside of Uvinia, makes it stick indeed, and holding on to the lead of the race.
That's why you don't have to get frustrated. You know, don't get frustrated in the first few laps to try to pass guys, because they're just going to repass you with no effort on that front straight. So just wait.
It's incredibly close between them. Manuel Gonzales now leads the way ahead of Andreas Perez. So Perez second place at the moment for the Spaniard. So it's Spaniards 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. Then the Brazilian of Maikon Kawakami. 3 laps out of 18 completed. The battle for first position really going on. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bikes in and amongst that as well. That's very impressive indeed. In fact, 7 bikes, because Toledo's right on the back of that group as well.
Jefferson's at the back.
Indeed, there he is. There is Toledo in 7th position. 1:39.350, fastest lap last time around. And that is as quick as we saw in race 1 as well. Very quick pace.
Yeah, I think the lap times will keep going down, you know, the more these boys ride around here in the dry.
Yes, indeed. So leading the way in the opening stages, Manuel Gonzales, I should say. Joan Uvinia in 3rd place, as Perez is in to 2nd. And there, by the looks of things, looks like it's, is that number 26? Is that, no, in fact, it's...
No, it's Para.
Para, yes, it is, yeah, Para, number 26. So, yeah, Para into Good position into P4 in the opening stages of this race. They blast onto the main straight, and now going to be side by side as well between the two leaders. As well. Gonzales just got the lead over the line. Uviña, though, looking to try and change that, and here comes Perez into play as well. Uviña very late on the brakes, and that front headstock wobbling very, very much as well there, Dakota.
Like I said, there's a little, you know, a gap in this crowd where the top 7 are in 39s, and then you get the guys in the back that are doing 41. So there's always that little gap between those two groups. So it seems like it's going to be a season with 7 riders a lot of times, and unless the rest, you know, gain their feeling back with other racetracks. And but definitely it's a good start of the race. And Toledo just made the fastest lap of the race, 39.3 right now. That's a fun lap time.
Indeed, he's 1,000th quicker than he was last time around. That's very impressive consistency from Alex Toledo. Lap 4 out of 18 we're on here in Albacete. A great race going on at the front. 7 riders battling for the lead. There's Perez. Just behind Perez is Kawakami. Keep an eye out as well for that man, Alex Toledo, as well. He finished, of course, on that podium in the opening race. Will he be able to repeat the same feat here in race number 2, the final race of the day here in Albacete? Pada pulls out of the slipstream of Kawakami. Can't quite make anything stick there at the moment. Not close enough on this occasion. Meanwhile, really going on out of the front between Gonzales and Uviña. Uviña looks to try and take it for the lead, but can't make it stick into turn 12. Top 2. So that's really interesting that's going on between them.
Yeah, but there you go again, the slipstream game. You know, the slipstream game. It's a slipstream game, this race. And every time I see Uviña brake with his leg out, I'm thinking there's an issue or something with the bike, but it's just his riding style.
Indeed, the old air brake system as well. Is it actually quite effective, that? Because I've always wondered.
A lot of people, you know, ask the same question, what does that actually do? And Rossi's actually one of the first ones that started it in MotoGP, and think how much a leg might weigh. Okay, let's say it weighs about 7-8 kilos. If you put your leg out like that, that's 7 or 8 kilos that's drifting you towards the corner. It might help you. Most riders are using it, so it must help those riders. But then you see riders like Jorge Lorenzo that don't need it and are fast too. So it depends. Everyone has their own style of riding.
Yes, indeed. There is Kawakami just behind Perez at the moment, so sitting in 4th place at the moment for the Brazilian. Looking good, that PlayStation Leglise bike has a really lovely livery as well. I do quite like the look of it.
Yeah, Leglise, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they always have a nice color.
Wide from the leader from Gonzales. Uviña sneaks the opportunity up the inside. Will he make the move stick? Yes, he's into the lead of the race. So goes Uviña. Here comes Perez, though. So it's going to be 2 positions in 2 corners lost for Manuel Gonzales. That's a disaster there for him. Well, I say a disaster. He's only in 3rd place, but he is still very close to the leading group. Here comes Para up the inside of the number 83 of Kawakami. Will he make that stick? Yes, indeed he does. Into 4th place. So great race there for that opening race.
Good group right here, huh? 7 riders.
Indeed, any one of these 7 riders could win this race
100%.
as well.
You could be in 7th and win it. So not until the last few laps you'll see the nearly clipped them in turn 1.
Very close indeed.
That's another thing. These boys are racing so close to each other. It's a great feeling. It's hard to explain.
Here's Uviña up the inside of Perez into the lead once again, and Gonzales not far behind as well on the Halcuria racing machine. Keep an eye out for that. But Uviña, the Spaniard, leads the way. He's looking good, he's looking calm, he's looking confident. And he is leading the way here in the European Talent Cup. Riders, of course, aged between 13 and 17 years old. Most of the riders in this leading group are actually just 15 years old, which is so impressive to see them battling at this level at that age.
Yeah, they do say start them young, so they definitely do. And I mean, Dorna did a great job also, putting this championship up, because it creates this kind of racing, and this is the kind of racing that's missing, I think, in the world, is close battling, like in Moto3, just like in this class. It's great to see, and for the fans, it's even better. And I think most fans, though, wish it was like 5 laps, because it's usually the last 5 laps that are the most crazy laps with these boys. But it's great to see this. It's great to see this again. And great to see so many passes too.
Indeed, Uviña late on the brakes there, just holding off the challenge of Perez. Gonzales, then Kawakami, and then just behind Kawakami, looks like it's Pado at the moment. Over the timeline we go.
Everyone's on the 39s, mid 39s, which is just the average pace that they did in race 1 too. So, and then from 7th back to 8th, which is there's a gap of 10 seconds. They're in the 41s.
Here comes Gonzales, hits the front rather, I should say. Ahead now of the number 77, Perez. Perez looks to try and take it back as Uviña also in amongst the mix there as well. A bit wide from Gonzales. Does that allow Perez through? Yes, it does. Perez goes through. No, it doesn't. Actually, he loses out as Perez by another position as well as Uviña goes through. So that's very interesting there. They come on towards this back straight, and this is the slipstream battle once again. Lap 7 out of 18. We're on here in Albacete, the final race of the afternoon in the European Talent Cup.
The problem also, well, it's not a problem, but in situations like this with groups this big, if you relax a half a second, 2 of them will go underneath you in the blink of an eye. It's crazy. So you got to be 100% focused and ready for anything.
Certainly has.
There's Parra trying to go underneath Kawakami.
He didn't manage to make the boost.
God, it's tough to remember all these names, all these different nationality names.
Indeed, yeah. How do you think I'm coping with it as well?
No.
I mean, I've got to identify everybody and fill in most of it. Oh, dearie me. But there we go. Part of the job you sign up for, I suppose, isn't it? Here comes Perez late on the brakes up the inside of Gonzales into turn 12. Oh, very wide. But he held on to it. That was impressive. That was very impressive indeed. So he holds on to second place and just a bit of breathing space for Uviña at the moment as well. That's going to be really important as they come over the line. Lap 7 out of 18, so now 10 laps, under 10 laps remaining as they come over the timing line. Here comes Kawakami up the inside of Gonzales, makes it stick. Gets the move done, he's up into 3rd position for Kawakami, so the Brazilian fights back. Meanwhile, we've got a rider that's gone down. I can't quite tell who that is from this angle. We'll give you more information on that as soon as we can.
Falcone.
Here we go. It's going to be the number 21, surely, that goes down. Indeed it is, and that is a disaster. Yeah, it is Falcone, you're quite right there. Very disappointing again. At least he's okay, but a simple front end washout there by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think that's the same corner someone else crashed on. I forgot who it was. It's actually back then when we used to race here, there used to be a lot of bumps there, and a lot of riders used to crash into there because it was a really fast right-hander, and the bumps always used to unsettle that front end, and it's an easy front end crash.
Here comes Jefferson, the victor of race 1, up the inside of Alex Toledo, gets the move done and dusted. Toledo, though, fights back into the next corner, but can't make it stick, so Jefferson moves himself up into what looks to be 6th position. Indeed it is, P6 for Jespersen. So the Danish rider having a bit of a tougher time in this race as Pado looks up the inside ever so slightly of Kawakami. That was for 4th position, but couldn't make it stick. Meanwhile, leading the way, Uviña ahead of Perez at the moment. Into the left-hander we go, the turn 12 chicane. Uviña, this is very impressive riding from him, because I thought after the first race, I thought, oh, I'm not sure if he's going to have the pace to be able to stick with these guys, because he kind of faded in the latter stages of the race. But now he's looking better than ever.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes these boys, between race 1 and 2, can make a slight change on the bike in settings or whatever it is, and you never know if Uviña, talked through the team and they've made a slight change on the bike, and maybe it's improved it.
Yes, indeed. So leading the way, Uviña ahead of Toledo. 9/10 of a second separated them as they came across the timing line. It's a lot less than that now, just a few tenths of a second, really. But Perez holding on to the lead from Uviña at the moment. Perez, this has been a really impressive ride from him as well. And Jespersen sitting inside the top 6. He'll have been hoping for that championship extension after taking that victory in the opening race. But I guess consistency is always the key. The old saying goes, you can't win the championship in the first race, but you can certainly lose it.
Yeah, and he might be just waiting. He might be just waiting to see what these boys are doing. And he's probably thinking, oh, let these boys, smash into each other. I'll just watch, sit here and watch, and then in the last laps I'll come through. He could be doing that too.
Uviña hits the front ahead of Perez on lap 9 out of 18. Brilliant riding from both riders. Brilliant riding from everybody, really, to keep so controlled and so calm. Oh, my goodness me. Was that a bit of a knock there from himself and Uvinia.
Some
That was
contact.
very close, yeah. My goodness me, that was very close indeed. Hopefully we can get a replay of that at some point, because that'll be interesting to see what happens. Here comes Kawakami. Trying to
Poor thing.
Indeed, trying a bit of a slick move up the inside. Couldn't quite make it stick, so it is then Perez who leads the way from Uvinia. Then comes Kawakami as they come over the timing line to start the 10th lap. Here we go, here's that contact. Let's have a little bit of a look. Here's Perez. Oh my goodness, that really unsettled.
That's actually that's like a that was on purpose, basically. You know, that was like, hey, get out of the way or something. But there was no need for that because I don't see, you know, Uvinia doing anything wrong.
Indeed, there were banging fairings there. That was perhaps maybe a bit naughty from Perez, do we think? So we'll have to wait and...
I remember when I was racing in 125s, we used to slipstream each other on the front straight, and we used to tap each other with the elbows on that front straight, because it used to be the longest straightaway sometimes, like Barcelona and this, and just a little tap, love tap, let's just say. But that was not a love tap. That was more of like, hey, get out of the way tap.
I really like watching Uvinia's riding style as well. He's got a really unique
Watch him pass here. He'll probably give him a sign like, hey, move out of the way.
Let's have a little bit of a look. There he goes.
No, I thought he was going to give him a little kick or something.
Oh dear.
I would have anyway, so.
Just a bit of a sign,
give him a little,
bit of sign language on the motorcycle. So Perez in second place. Kawakami is in third position. It's
nearly a high side from Uvinia.
Indeed, he's going to have lost ground as well. Here comes Perez up the inside. Here comes Kawakami too. Oh, that was very close indeed. And Perez gets the move done and dusted. Here comes Kawakami though, the Brazilian rider, trying to find a way through against Uvinia. Will he do it into the turn 12 chicane? He's going to have to defend as well from Gonzales, very close behind. Doesn't manage to make it stick at the moment. So it is Perez that leads the way from Uvinia at the moment. They're coming over around the final corner to start another lap of racing here at Albacete. Over the timing line we go, and that slipstream once again.
Yep. Makes a difference.
Certainly
Another
does.
plastic bag from Mercadona running through the straightaway.
Into the first corner we go with Uvinia. The plastic bag makes a return as we see a new leader hitting the front. Andreas Perez leads the way. What a race it's been from these boys. I love watching Uvinia's riding style, though. The way he hangs off of that bike.
I love the way he brakes, and he's definitely a Honda rider.
He's a big, tall rider as well. You can see just how much extra height he's carrying compared to some of the other riders.
I want him to get... This is just a racer's mentality. I would just make Perez, you know, keep passing Perez and making him frustrated, because that's the way, you know, every rider's on his own. And if you can, you know, get someone to frustrate, and, you know, that's how you'll be, you know, that's how you'll beat them, is frustrating other riders in different ways. And that's... I can tell Perez is getting frustrated because Uvinia keeps passing him after every little straightaway. And it is what, look, he's just getting up.
Here we go, very, very close racing. The top 7 riders separated by little over a second. What other championship would you get this closest of racing in? Well, probably Moto3 actually, if we thought about it. But it's incredible nonetheless. The European Talent Cup really living up to all of the expectations and some more.
Right there again, Uvinia shoves Perez out, and now Perez shuffles back to third. So
here comes Gonzales though. He's
a great way to mess him up.
Yeah, Gonzales has been nowhere over the last couple of laps, and he's really moved up into a good position. Jamie Davis is sitting in 9th place as well in this race. Jamie Davis looking great out there, the Briton. They come over the timing line, the leading 7 riders. Normally you call it a quartet or a trio or something, but there's no word for 7 riders, really, is there?
No.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head anyway.
No, I can't see.
I'm trying to think of what's the shape called with the 7 riders. You've got the hexagon, and then you've got the whatever it's called. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I was at school.
Oh, another rider.
Oh, dearie me. That's Jack Hart, the British rider. Jack Hart goes down. A disaster for the Scotsman. He is a very small lad. I commentated on him in one of the national championships in the UK last year, and he went out and dominated the field. It was on a mini bike as well. It was very impressive. I really like that. Just 12 years old is Jack Hart, so disappointing end to his day, but nonetheless, I'm sure he'll regroup and come back stronger. He's a nice lad as well. Here comes Uvinia up the inside of Perez, into the right, into the left-hander. Will he make the move stick? He's got the line, and he's got the place as well. And now here comes Gonzales as well. So this is very, very close racing indeed. And Perez looking a little bit of a look up the inside of Gonzales as well. So this is all to play for. I think the last 3 laps of this race,
it's going to be gnarly.
It certainly is. If they all stay on the motorcycles, I'll be amazed.
No, let's just hope that there's no crashes. But No, you know what I love is Uvinha. He's just, every time he gets past, he tries to pass again in the very next corner, and that's just that's a great, you know, great rider to see.
Certainly is. Into the left, right chicane we go. Uvinha leads the way, looking like he's got a little bit of a gap as they go through there, but of course as we go onto the street, that's when it all gets dissipated, doesn't it? So Andreas Perez leads the way ahead of Gonzales. Here comes the number 26 of Para as well. Keep an eye out for him as well on the white bike as well, with the orange flashes to his leathers into that first corner. Here comes Gonzales, who hits the front. Gonzales gets 2 in 1 into the first corner. A great move there for the Spaniard. He hits the front. Second place then Perez. Third at the moment still looks like it is, yes indeed, Uvinha. So Uvinha in third position at the moment. Then comes the number 26 of Miguel Para, of course, who suffered that such misfortune in the first race.
See that?
Yeah, somebody else
tries to get underneath everyone super quick. I love it.
So Gonzales still out in front. Uvinha trying to take him back though. Careful, son. He's got 5 laps left of racing here, so he doesn't need to go too quick too soon. Down the back straight into that left-handed kink of turn 7. Incredibly close racing. We hope you're enjoying this as much at home as we are up here in the commentary box. Gonzales from Uvinha in the European Talent Cup, the brand new European Talent Cup in 2017. A brand new addition to the FIM CEV Repsol, and a very welcome addition at that as well. Into the right-hander we go. Very close indeed. And the top 2, again, kind of broken away, but it's not going to be for long. We know that already. And here comes Para up the inside, or has a bit of a look up the inside of Perez, but can't quite make it stick at the moment. Uvinha deeper on the brakes into the lead of the race. So 6 laps now remain here at the European Talent Cup. Simon Jefferson took the victory in the first race. He doesn't look like he's going to have to do the same thing in the second race, but we never know. Stranger things have happened in motor racing. Anything can happen, and it usually does as well. Gonzales into second place. Who's going to get the maximum battle of the slipstream into the first corner? Here comes Gonzales, but Uvinha brakes late and cuts his nose off. Holds onto it. That was very close riding between the two.
You know, Uvinha is very strong on the brakes, and it's going to be hard for the rest of them to pass him into the brakes. The only way I see them passing him is in the slipstream.
Gahara had a little bit of a look up the inside for the podium as well. Gahara's come from a couple of positions back as well. He's looking great out there. He was trying to get ahead of Perez. He didn't quite manage it. We'll have to live on to try and fight another day. So 5 laps now to go. Here at the European Talent Cup, down the back straight we go. Uvinha from the number 18 of Gonzales. Incredibly close racing between the two. First British rider still being held on to by Jamie Davis, who is in 10th position so far in this race. And all of these riders, again, the lap times still battling within a few tenths of a second of each other.
Yeah, it's you know, those top 7 guys are just fairly on the high 39s, low 40s, and it's going to stay like that for the rest of the race with these 5 laps to go. Especially now with all this passing, they're going to be going 3 or 4 tenths slower each lap. So, but it'll be interesting to see if Jefferson have anything else to show, because they've been lingering in the back of this group for most of the race, and with 5 laps to go, you need to start shuffling up the board if you want to have a chance to be on that podium.
Certainly do. So 3rd place being held on to by Kawakami at the moment. Close behind him is Perez. Over the timing line we go. Uvinha leads the way. You can see this pit board for the Team Stratos outfit. That is
Gonzales.
Indeed it is.
Slipstream.
Yes, fantastic for Gonzales. Moves himself into the lead. Uvinha down to 2nd.
Perez in 3rd.
And they've already broken away quite significantly from the 7th place man of, sorry, the 8th place man, I should say, of Cañada as well. He's having a great race after retiring in the first one as well. So that's a really good recovery and a nice top 10 finish for him. I'm sure he'll be pleased with.
Fastest lap time with the 39.3, but that was at the beginning of the race. Oh no, that was last lap.
Last lap. So that's
wow, that was just right now. So that just shows you that these boys with those tires, they can do a fast lap even in the last lap. Yeah, it don't matter how many laps those tires have done.
Here comes Uvinha up the inside. He hits the front. So 2nd place. Oh, big moment for Uvinha. Holds on to the bike and up the inside. What a move! Joe and Uvinia take a bow for that one.
That was planned. That was his plan.
That was incredible. Such a bobble, and then gets the move
That's
done
to
and
scare the
dusted.
people away around him. He's like, get out of my way.
Gonzales, that was right on the limit there. Gonzales now down into second place. Here's a replay. Let's have a look. Watch the front man. Uvinia, look at that bobble. Nearly high sides it into the right-hander. Sweet as you like. Up the inside. Thanks very much. And into the lead.
He's actually had 2 or 3 moments like this in his race.
Streaming out of the final corner now. Uvinia leads the way from Perez. 4 laps to go, soon to become 3. There's the team looking on.
Efren Vasquez helping. I'm not sure which rider he's helping out, but I'm not sure which tent he was in.
Oh my goodness me, that was a really late move there from Para. Yes, indeed. Yeah, he was trying to find a way through, but couldn't quite make
No,
his
it wasn't
stick.
Para, sorry. It was Perez. Perez is first now.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, so Perez leads the way. Second place being held on to at the moment by Gonzales. Then it is Uvinia. Then it is Kawakami.
It's all these different, you know, so many passes. You don't know who's leading it after, like, you turn around and then there's a leader from 7th place.
Exactly. If we had to go out for a quick drink or something like that, we looked away from the screen. You couldn't do it because everything would have changed by the time you come back. Simon Jesperson sitting towards the rear end of this group, looking good though, looking to try and continue his championship charge, or at least continue in the way that he started the championship after taking that victory in the opening race. There is Andreas Perez. He's not first in the race. He's actually in 3rd position. Is Perez. That's sorry, no, apologies. Perez is leading the way. I apologise. Second place is Uvinia, and then 3rd at the moment. Sorry, in 2nd place is Gonzales. 3rd place is Uvinia. Then 4th is Kawakami. There we are. The position's changing so much. Well, again, we can't keep up. That's how quickly it's all changing. Here comes Gonzales, looking at the inside of Perez, but can't quite find a way through. Perez going deep into that corner once again. He likes that deeper line, doesn't he? Do you think it's intentional?
These points, nothing's intentional, I think, and it looks like you know, it looks like Para and Jesperson and Toledo in the back are hanging on, but they just, you know, they can't get through that field to go up in the front. So it's definitely going to be in between, you know, Uvinia, Perez, and Gonzales, I have a feeling.
Yes, indeed. Very, very close indeed. Where else would you see 6 riders battling for these positions? Incredibly close as Gonzales leads the way with 2 laps now remaining. Next time around, they'll start their last lap here at the Circuit of Albacete. Will they all finish? And if so, how close will they be separated by? And who is going to take that checkered flag? Down the back straight we go. Incredibly close as Gonzales leads away from Perez, leads the way from Kawakami. And Uvinia's been shuffled back ever so slightly in this lap as well. He's now down and tries to, I say that, gets himself up the inside by the looks of things, or tried to at least, of Kawakami. But Kawakami holding on to that 3rd
nearly
place.
crashes again, Uvinia.
Do you think his tyres might have gone?
I think his rear tire seems to have some issue, or because he keeps on, you know, having these high side moments. So he's had the same one again in turn 8, where we saw him, you know, nearly crash last time. But it looks like Kawakami's back in the front.
Yes, indeed. So, no, it's Gonzales leads the way. 2nd place of Perez. 3rd of Kawakami at the moment. 2 laps to go, soon to become 1 here at the circuit.
Anyone's race right here.
Certainly is. Slipstream battles as they come across the line. You don't want to be leading, really, as you go into the final lap. Here we go. Who's going to hit the front? It looks like it's going to be Perez who takes the advantage. Indeed, he does. Here comes Kawakami on the outside and gets the move done into 2nd place. That's brilliantly done, and manages to get it stopped as well. Into the chicane we go. So it's Perez who leads the way from Kawakami. 3rd place at the moment being held on to by Gonzales. They come into that turn 4 hairpin. Oh, bit of a look there from Kawakami, trying to make amends for that race 1 where he started so strongly and then faded back towards the end.
Perez needs to close that door, because if he leaves any door open, Perez is going to try to go in.
Certainly does. So they come down the back straight. Slipstream City once again as we go in towards the left-hander. No opportunities being presented so far. Onto the brakes, though, in just a couple of seconds' time. Here comes Kawakami. Is he going to think about it? He has a look, but can't quite make it stick through there. And then, all the while, it's all happening further back as well, as Jesperson looks to try and get his way past Toledo as well. Does he do it? Yes, indeed, he does.
Uvinia's there in 3rd. Oh, he's so strong on the brakes.
Oh my goodness me, that was very close between Uvinia and Kawakami as they came round that right-hander. It is still going to be
Oh no.
Perez who leads the way. They're coming up against some lap traffic in the form of the number 20, Samantha Johansson.
Right here, Uvinia's going to pass both of them.
This is going to be very close indeed into the turn 12 and 13 chicane. Here we go. Here's Kawakami on the inside. Will he make the move? He's very deep on the brakes. Is he going to hold it?
Oh.
Yes, he is. Oh, big moment for Uvinia. Holds on to it into the final corner. We go. Oh, big moment as well for the leader. Unbelievable from Kawakami. They come into the line. Who's it going to be? Who's going to get it? It's going to get in the way of Perez. Perez gets it by 0.04 of a second. Gonzales in second. Joan Uvinia in third. Toledo in fourth. Jesperson rounds out the top five. Kawagami came home in sixth position. And Miguel Parra rounds out the top 7. My goodness me, what a race, what an end.
Oh, I'm sweating.
I've got no voice left. Dear, oh dear. It's a good thing I'm going to commentate tomorrow as well, isn't it? That was very exciting.
Who would have said that last corner would be that crazy?
It's incredible.
I think there were 5 wide into the last corner.
0.05 of a second. I couldn't call it as they came across the line. I had to wait for the timing screen because it was just so close. And Andreas Perez, well, he made amends for the opening race, that disaster where he crashed out. And now he takes the maximum 25 points. Manuel Gonzales in second place. What a race he rode. A brilliant start to his championship for the Haucoria Racing team. He'll be very, very pleased with that.
Uvinia started all that high side stress.
He had a bit of a moment, and then Kawakami also had a bit of a move as well. Great result.
Yeah, poor Kawakami. He was running in the front and finally finished 6th with that moment on the last corner. So
he was leading going into it and then finished 6th, as you say. So it was a real disaster of an end to it for Kawakami. Jamie Davis, a brilliant championship finish for him in 11th position. There is Joan Uvinia in 3rd place. What an end to the European Talent Cup. The top 3 separated by just 1/10 of a second, and then further back, well, the top 5 actually separated by a maximum actually of 0.2 of a second. Incredibly close between the two, and the gap between Aleix Toledo and Simon Jesperson, 0.02 of a second as they came across the line for 4th and 5th position. That was absolutely brilliant. What a way to end the European Talent Cup round 1 in 2017. Plenty more action to come, of course, throughout the season. We'll talk to you more about that in just a few moments' time, but the riders now completing their reconnaissance lap. They'll head down into pit lane, and then we'll get ready to get that podium celebration underway, and I'm sure quite a few people are going to be wanting a nice glass of champagne after the day's action. There's the second place man, Manuel Gonzales. They'll be pretty pleased with that one. All to the applause as Joan Uvinia held onto that high side into that final corner for the Team Stratos outfit. Some great reception in Parc Ferme as well. Everybody very, very pleased at the Haucoria Racing team. And there is your victor. What a race from the number 77. Andreas Perez leads the way. And look at the Realia Avintia Academy team. They are delighted with that. What a way to end his day's worth of racing after what was, to be honest, such a disappointing start really to the championship for him, after crashing out, of course, in that opening race. So here are the final results then of that race. Andreas Perez leads the way by 0.04 of a second. Joan Uvinia just 1.75 of a second behind. Aleix Toledo 0.2 of a second behind him. Jesperson just 0.04 of a second behind them, so 4th and 5th very close. Kawakami in 6th. Parra was 7th. Francisco Gomez, a well-respected 8th place for the Spaniard. Edward Melgar rounding out the top 9. Andrea Diez is in 10th place. Jamie William Davis, the first Briton and only Briton home in that race, in 11th place. Fau Cañero is in 12th. Matthew Gregorio in 13th. Andrzej Vostatek in 14th place. Stefano Clistin in 15th. Colin Velthuizen in 16th place. Then comes Iker Garcia in 17th. And then further down the order, we look at just inside the top 20 of Jose Suarez and Callum James Blackwell. Forgot to mention him, of course. Callum Blackwell finishing in 20th place. Victor Alonso in 21st. Samantha Johansson, the only female rider and the first female home, with 2 riders failing to finish. Well, what a race. What an end to the European Talent Cup. We're just about getting our breath back up here in the commentary box, and we'll be hearing from the race winner in just a couple of moments' time as well, which will be very excited to hear from that race winner of Andreas Perez to find out his thoughts on that race. So the Circuito de Albacete has proven to be a worthy challenger for the start of the 2017 FIM CEV Repsol. And a great race as well. Here we are. Here was the overtake for the lead. Look at the front of the shot, because Uvinia had a big moment in 4th place, but there it was. There was Kawakami going very, very high-sidey into that final corner, or nearly so. And then it all came down as a drag to the line, nearly 4 wide, and Kawakami was apocalyptic. We didn't see that one on screen.
Crazy.
Here we go. Let's hear from the winner.
Crazy, crazy last lap with these guys. But finally got the win. Last corner was a little crazy, but great job.
Yeah, I feel so good with the bike, and well, the last 3-4 laps I tried to push hard, but well, in the last lap I closed my eyes and I pushed. So well, finally this first position, and I'm very, very happy. So congratulations to the team, because this weekend was working very, very hard, and to my family, sponsors. So I'm very, very happy.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. Andreas Perez delighted with that result, as you would begin to imagine. What a race. Let's see some highlights from that particular one then, shall we? The lights went out. It was a great start from Uvinia off the front row of the grid. A great start also from the number 77 of Andreas Perez, the eventual race victor. And Kawakami made a bit of a shocker. Unfortunately, it ended up down nearly in 5th position by the first corner. Manuel Gonzales got a great start and ended up in P2 into turn 1. Perez led the way in the opening stages. A great start from the Spanish rider. Later on in the race, it was Gonzales who led the way, but Uvinia, who was looking very, very racy indeed, and also pretty ragged as well on that Honda machine. And here we are later on in the race. Some fantastic battles that went on. Uvinia holding on to 2nd place, but going a little bit wide was the leader. Here comes Perez, though. He led the way for quite a significant amount of time. As they came in towards the right chicane, everybody making a very, very good start. And a very good ride indeed. Here came Uvinia up the inside of Perez later on in the race. There were so many overtakes in this race, it was hard to keep track of exactly what was happening. But as we came on to that final lap of racing, it was incredibly close between the two. Uvinia led the way, but not for long as they went into the first corner, because straight up the inside went the number 18 machine of Manuel Gonzales. Here we go then, over the line once again, and a new different leader into that first corner, with Uvinia getting a great move up the inside of Perez. Perez with that Realia Avintia Academy machine, looking very racy indeed. There was a bit of contact between the two. Perez letting Uvinia know that he was there, or something along the lines of that. They came across the back straight, though, very, very close indeed, ducking and diving, weaving to try and get that slipstream. Perez leading the way, 2nd place being held on to by Uvinia. Uvinia saying, stay behind me, Gonzales. But it wasn't quite working for him there, unfortunately. So came over the timeline once more. Again, that slipstream city battle continued onwards. Gonzales leading the way this time into the first corner, ahead of Perez. And Uvinia actually getting himself up into a good point-paying position as well. But this was the moment that nearly defined the race, as Uvinia nearly crashed out. A big moment for him. And then it all came down to the final corner as Kawakami also went wide. And then it was a massive drag to the line between 5 riders. And it would eventually go the way of Andreas Perez by 0.04 of a second to Manuel Gonzales. Then it was Joan Uvinia rounding out the podium. And what a race, what a way to end the season. A fantastic, to start the season rather, I should say. What a way to conclude the first round of the season there, Dakota. And we'll try and bring you back in. There we go.
It was funny, Perez, I said, how was that last corner? And he goes, I just shut my eyes and hope for the best. So there you go.
Well, the Realia Avintia team, you can see they were understandably delighted with that result, as you would begin to expect. And here we are waiting for the podium as well.
Wind picking up again right now. But racing's done, so it's good way to end the day with sunshine after 3 horrible days of full rain, and great racing. Glad everyone's okay too. So here's
Indeed. There we are, all the riders congratulating one another. Andres Perez congratulates Joan Uviña, second place man of Manuel Gonzales, also looking great out there for the Hal Courier Racing team.
Jean-Marc Denis, vicepresidente de la Federación Internacional de Motociclismo en Europa, hace entrega del trofeo al tercer clasificado.
There we are, the third place trophy presented to Joan Uviña. And he's not too displeased with that result either, is he?
Oh, no, not at all. And he's had some moments in this race. I think he should be happy for actually finishing, and especially finishing in the podium.
Yes, indeed. Second place man, Manuel Gonzales. And here's the winner, Andreas Perez, by 0.04 of a second. What a way
Y la zapata de Repsol hace entrega de la tarjeta de carburante Repsol para
el vencedor. And again, as we have with the first race, all of these riders, of course, far too young to spray the champagne. So,
and there's that credit card, gas credit card.
Is he able to use that? Is he able to drive?
I think it's for his dirt bike.
Andreas gives it to his parents or something like that.
Or that, yeah, that could be the option.
A fantastic result for Manuel Gonzales in second place, but that man, Andreas Perez, he was delighted, the winner, and the first all-Spanish podium in the championship as well. That was very, very exciting indeed. They'll pose for the photographs, of course, and then we'll get...
the caseta shake.
Exactly, the caseta shake, is that what we're going to call it now? There we go.
Have you ever even tried a casera?
I've never tried a casera. What is a casera?
It's actually not too bad. So a lot of people put in their red wine here too.
Yeah.
So
what does it taste of?
It's got like a little lemon taste of it, and it's basically like fizzy water.
I see. Well, there we go. So they're spraying the casera. I'll know that for future commentaries now as well. Fantastic.
You're going to be speaking Spanish by the end of this season.
Don't say that. I've got to commentate in English as well. Well, what an end to the European Talent Cup here at round one at Albacete. A thrilling race, a thrilling day of action we've had. It's been brilliant across all three classes.
100%. And definitely next race coming up is Barcelona. Go ahead.
Let's have a look. Simon Jesperson does lead the championship then, but he's tied with Manuel Gonzales in second place. So the Danish and the Spanish riders. Alex Toledo just 3 points adrift on 33. Uviña fourth, Perez fifth, Kawakami in sixth position after that terrible end, finishing down in sixth place after that near high side at the final corner. Jamie Davis is the first Briton in the championship in 12th place. Falconero in 13th, Colin Feldhazen in 14th, Stefano Kristin in 15th, Andrzej Vostatek in 16th, and Iker Garcia rounding out the podium with the championship order with 1 point in 17th position. Well, there we are. That does conclude a day's racing here at the Circuito de Albacete. And that was a fantastic day's worth of racing. What's your highlight very quickly there, Dakota?
Highlight. That last lap, last corner.
Amazing.
Incredible. Shut your eyes and just hope for the best.
What a way to end the first day of action here at the FIM CEV Repsol. As the graphic says at the bottom of your screen, we'll be back next time out in Le Mans on May the 20th for the Moto 3 class. None of the European Talent Cup and the Moto 2 classes will be present. We'll have the Moto 3 Junior World Championship taking place.
Same weekend as the World Championship.
Exactly. It's a support class for that for the World Championship, which is absolutely wonderful. We're very excited for that. Don't forget, of course, next weekend we're going to be bringing you live coverage of round 4 of the 2017 MotoGP World Championship. So keep up to date on all of the action on MotoGP.com for that. What a way to end the day. A brilliant race in the European Talent Cup. From myself, Tom Brooks, and from Dakota Momola alongside me up here in the commentary box, it's goodbye for now, and we'll see you again next time out in Le Mans.